Hello, folks. I didn't know what I was going to talk about until just now, and I'll tell you in just a second. Let me first give you a 360. I'm at Tunnel Springs again in North Salt Lake, I believe it is, and another beautiful day in paradise, babe. And I don't know. My theme today is what's the matter with a lot of Americans and particularly dog owners. Okay, do you see this beautiful field that I'm walking in? At the entrance, way over there, I don't know if you can see it, there's a sign that's clearly posted, dogs must be on leashes. Dogs must be on leashes. And I've been here several times, and I don't think I've ever seen a dog on a leash. I guess Americans don't feel the need to obey rules, but this guy, and I'm out here in the middle of nowhere, away from the mainstream here, just minding my own business. And this guy with a dog walked past me. No leash on the dog, of course. And I asked the question, do you have a leash? And he came up to me, he says, don't start with me. Don't start with me, guy. And he had a thermos in his hand. And how do I know that you... And I said, dogs need to be on a leash in this park. Or something to that effect. And he said, you're not on a leash. How do I know you're not going to lunge out at me and attack me? Or something. I say, I was thinking of myself, I can't remember if I said this, but dogs do that all the time. They lunge at, bite people, lunge at them for no reason at all. And then he stuck this thermos in my face as if he's kind of threatening me. He says, don't start with me, buddy. I'm thinking, like, because he owns a dog, he owns the world. Rules don't apply to him. It just, I mean, my jaw almost dropped. He was in a threatening manner. He came up to me and put his steel thermos in my face like he was going to hit me with it. But his dog doesn't need to be on a leash in a public space. No. Okay. Oh my heavens. I'm just at loss for words. And I don't know how old this guy was. He was maybe 40s. I doubt he was 50. He's probably in his 40s. And they had this dog. Dog didn't do anything, luckily. I don't know that. And you're not on leash. Okay, there's no sign that... Okay, humans don't usually lunge out at people for no reason. Okay? They do occasionally. Agree with him there. Especially if you're on the one political side of the aisle rather than one side of the aisle, but he was clearly... I don't know. It was weird. So I'm thinking to myself, and I don't know. Another thing, on the high occupancy passenger lane, or what do they call the HO, high occupancy, high occupancy vehicle lanes on the freeway. People just, single drivers, just cross those lines like they're not there. And my wife often comes, my wife who's Japanese often comes to me, do Americans know how to keep rules? And I must admit, I've got into that lane, forgetting that I was not alone. When I was alone, normally I don't drive alone, but when I'm alone, I've popped in there and then realized, oh, I'm by myself, and I got out immediately. But oh my heavens! Clearly posted, all dogs must be on leashes. And what happens in America if that you don't obey that and your dog does something? You get sued. This guy was, oh my land, just like he owned the world, man. And I thought that would make a good topic for it today. And so I've had dogs before, and I admit probably when I brought them out to a place like this and no one is around, I've let the dog off leash. But if I ever see a human being, I immediately put the dog on leash. Okay, because I know it's going to make people nervous. And just down the street from me on Halloween the other night, all of a sudden I heard some barking and yelling, adults yelling, and a homeowner, his dog, I wouldn't say attacked, but was barking heavily and was on the loose out by some trick-or-treaters or something like that with their parents, with adults. And that parent rightfully say, put your dog on leash or something like that. They were screaming. I could hear them down the street from me, just a couple houses down the road. I couldn't hear the details of what they were talking about, but they were screaming at each other over dog issues. And I thought to myself, oh my heavens. These people, I'm sure they were not on the man's property, but the dog had left the property, was barking viciously like he was going to attack. What would you do? You dog owners out there, help me understand your thinking. I don't understand the thinking. When we had a dog, I saw another human being, I immediately put the dog on leash. But these people don't feel that's necessary, I guess. And I'm kind of lost in the weeds over here. Oh, here's a path. Here's a path. Okay. Here's a path. I'm going to go up here. I hope you can see that path. But help me to understand. Please explain. What's going on in your mind? This guy came up to me, put the thermos in my face. Me calling him out on it, saying that no dogs on leashes, and I'm the bad guy. This is what's wrong with America. I don't know. I'm a patriot and I love it, but we've got problems. We've got some people that are not right in the head. All right. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.